Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. So we can read Srimad Bhagavatam. I think I didn't bookmark the verse, so I think we are on 4:15:23. Basically, Prithu Maharaj is saying when all the professional reciters are praising him, he's saying that why are you praising me? I have not done any actions yet. I've just been coronated as the king, and you're praising me for all my good qualities and everything, but I have not yet manifested those good qualities. And I have not done anything, so why are you praising me? So, let me first manifest those good qualities, then you can praise me, something like that. If a man who does not factually possess the attributes of a great personality engages his followers in praising him with the expectation that such attributes will develop in the future, that sort of praise is actually an insult. Of course, Vaishnava culture is culture of praise, and by praising, Prabhupada would fan the spark and then he would encourage. We feel encouraged when somebody appreciates us. So, so we should praise others. Ideally, we should not expect praise for ourselves, but give all praise to others. Amanina manadena. But it's difficult. So we have to be at where we are at, and we should say, yes, I also need appreciation from others. I need encouragement from others. But as one makes spiritual advancement, then one becomes self-satisfied or Atmaram. Then he feels pleasure from within. So, like it is described, right, that Prabhupada says nobody has to give you a certificate. When you make spiritual advancement, you will feel it for yourself, just as you have eaten a nice meal, and you will feel your hunger getting diminished. Bhakti pareshanubhava virakti anyatra cha. Anyatra cha.
Krishna
Krishaika kalaha.
Prapada Manasya Yathas Yathasya Tushti Pushti Shudhapi Anughasya.
When we surrender to the Lord, then three things happens. He says, you will experience the presence of the Lord in your life. Bhakti, devotion to the Lord will happen, come about by surrendering to the Lord. You will feel more devoted in your heart. You'll feel love for the Supreme Lord. I mean, everybody can feel, right, that if you love somebody, you can feel that you have love for this person. So similarly, we'll feel love for Krishna. By surrender, prapadya manasya means by surrendering to the Supreme Lord, we will become more attached to the Supreme Lord. And virakti will also come about, means detachment from sense gratification. Bhakti parai ishanubhava. Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and all these things. Just as when we eat the food, then automatically we feel satisfied, nourished, and our hunger diminishes. So that is described. So they are very Paramhamsa devotees. They are very exalted devotees. They can sit anywhere, chant Hare Krishna, and feel the topmost bliss. They engage in devotional service. They can think about Krishna and they can feel so much happiness. Normally in this world, we have to gratify our senses to feel happiness, right? We have to bring the senses in contact with the sense objects to feel happiness. Okay, so next verse we'll read. I think it is this verse. So after every verse, we can see if anybody like to say anything. Mahad gunanatmani kartumishah kahastavakai stavayate stopi tesya vivishyan iti vipralabdo janavahasam kumatirna veda. How could an intelligent man, competent enough to possess such exalted qualities, allow his followers to praise him if he did not actually have them? Praising a man by saying that if he were educated, he might have become a great scholar or great personality is nothing but a process of cheating. A foolish person who agrees to accept such praise does not know that such words simply insult him. Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was Shaktavesha Avatar. As Lord Brahma and other demigods had already testified, when they had presented the king with many heavenly gifts. Because he had just been coronated, however, he could not manifest his godly qualities in action. Therefore, he was not willing to accept the praise of the devotees. So-called incarnations of Godhead should therefore take lessons from the behavior of King Prithu. Demons without godly qualities should not accept false praise from their followers. Okay. And even if you feel that you have some good qualities, those good qualities are due to Krishna. Like that's the psychology of a devotee. When good things happen, then he thinks it's Krishna's mercy. When bad things happen, or there are any faults, it is my own. It is my own. So like that, Prabhupada writes like that. That's how a devotee feels. Okay. Any comments anybody like to say? Okay, so we'll read the next verse. As a person with a sense of honor and magnanimity does not like to hear about his abominable actions, a person who is very famous and powerful does not like to hear himself praised. So, okay, but it's not always true.
I've heard that when somebody praises us, then and if we accept that praise for ourselves, then our punya karma is diminishing. But we should pass the praise immediately to our superiors.
That's why devotees say, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, we pass the praise to Srila Prabhupada.
And also, if somebody criticizes us, then our pap is diminishing. So actually, they are doing us a favor. That in small thing, our sinful reactions are diminishing. So that's why Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, when somebody would criticize him, he wouldn't mind at all. It makes us humble. But of course, we should also correct ourselves if we are making a mistake and somebody is criticizing.
Yes. There are many, and also, tatha manapmanayo. If you want to become steady in bhakti, then we have to be. Today, somebody may praise, tomorrow, we may be dishonored, like that. So, these things are coming and going in material world, So, we should not get carried away by all these things. And because we can get carried away by happiness also. So, we should just, if there is good things somebody is saying about us, oh yeah, Krishna is, because I am chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna has cleaned my heart. So, maybe that's why all the anarthas, like that we can say it, we can attribute it to Krishna. It is because of Krishna only my heart has become clean. Of course, the great souls never feel like that they are very, very pure or anything like that. Okay.
Yesterday in Act of Devotion, we read, I think we have read this previously, the attitude of the preacher,
Mhm.
tasted.
Can you
So
read?
I'll
Yeah, you can read.
The author of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Shri Rupa Goswami very humbly submits that he is just trying to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, although he humbly thinks himself unfit for this work. That should be the attitude of all preachers of Krishna consciousness movement, following in the footsteps of Shri Rupa Goswami. We should never think of ourselves as great preachers, but should always consider that we are simply instrumental to the previous acharyas, and simply by following in their footsteps, we may be able to do something for the benefit of suffering humanity.
Yeah, what we are repeating is Krishna's words, Acharya's words, right? There is no credit for us. Just, it's not like we have made this knowledge. We are speaking from Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by Krishna, or Bhagavatam, which was spoken by Shukdev Goswami. So, what is our thing in it?
And if we are humble, then Krishna will use us as an instrument. Otherwise, we are on our own.
Yeah, that is there. We get empowered by the Lord when we take shelter of Him. So, yeah, if we are humble, then the humble and meek will inherit the kingdom of God. Okay. So, but here it says a person who is very famous and powerful does not like to hear himself praised. Sometimes it may happen that those who are famous and powerful, they like to hear more of their praises. So, like the kings, they would, sometimes it is mentioned, they would get up hearing their praises. So, actually, the devotee is afraid, like Vasudev, the leper, he was afraid that now everybody will praise me and I will become very proud. So, he was afraid. And so Lord Chaitanya said, if you always chant Hare Krishna mantra, then you will never feel this pride. And also preach, right, about Krishna. Share this knowledge. Both the things he said, right? Or is it only one thing he said? I think he said both the things. Chant Hare Krishna.
Yes, both.
Talk about.
Who
Okay.
was the personality, Prabhu, in Chaitanya that who don't want to like be famous, and that's why he moved to Jagannath Puri, but all the followers already reached over there
Madhavendra.
before, yeah, Madhavendra Puri, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the great personality, those who, as you said, that they are equanimity developed, they don't feel like honor and dishonor. And also, one more thing that our goal is to get Krishna Prem, right? If someone goal is to Krishna Prem, so whatever the honor, dishonor we get in this material world, it actually doesn't matter, right? Um, I'm talking about those the great devotees, the pure devotees. Their goal is if someone goal is like fixed, okay, I have to get Krishna and Krishna Prem. So whatever in this life or in this journey we get it, we accept it as a prasad of Krishna, right? Because Krishna knows that what we require to make an advancement in this path.
Mhm. Yeah, Prabodhananda Saraswati has this if the whole world glorifies me, but Krishna does not recognize me, then what is the point of that glorification? But if the whole world spits at me, but Krishna recognizes me, then who cares for that spitting? So it's about what is Krishna seeing in me.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Ultimately, how the Lord looks at us. Okay. So then, So those who are honored, they don't like to hear about their bad activities. Similarly, a person who is very famous and powerful does not like to hear himself praised. This is in relation with who is speaking this. This is spoken by Prithu Maharaj.
Mhm. So when in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "For one who is honored, dishonor is worse than death."
Hmm.
What is he saying?
He's trying to convince Arjun to fight on the grounds of Sakama Karma Yoga. First, he's giving all different. First, then he'll tell about Nishkam Karma Yoga. So, first he's trying to convince him on the basis of Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, the difference between body and the soul. There are about 20 verses which he speaks about body and soul. And then he's trying to convince him on the grounds of Sakam Karma Yoga. And then he's trying to convince him on the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga. So,
Mhm. So we should not purposely do some activity for which there would be our reputation would suffer, right?
correct. Yeah. I mean, you have to be exemplary in your behavior. So, uh, because preaching is also by example, right? They say preaching is not just about speaking, but also by our actions. So, correct? Is that
Yeah.
okay? King Prithu continued, "My dear devotees headed by the Sutta, just now I am not very famous for my personal activities because I have not done anything praiseworthy you could glorify. Therefore, how could I engage you in praising my activities exactly like children?" So he is repeating this point again. I have just been coronated as the king. I have not done anything yet. So you are praising me, but what have I really done? Okay, so the next word, next chapter. Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So now the great sage Maitreya continued, while King Prithu spoke. The humility of his nectarian speeches pleased the reciters very much. Then again they continued to praise the king highly with exalted prayers, as they had been instructed by the great sages. So he said, "Why are you praising?" And then again they continued to praise him. They were impressed by his humility. So let's see. Here the word Muni Choditaha indicates instructions received from great sages and saintly persons. Although Maharaj Prithu was simply enthroned on the royal seat and was not at that time exhibiting his godly powers, the reciters like the Suta, the Magadha, and Vandi understood that King Prithu was an incarnation of God. They could understand this by the instructions given by great sages and learned Brahmanas. We have to understand that the incarnations of God by the instructions of authorized persons. We cannot manufacture a God by our own concoctions. As stated by Narottam Das Thakur, Sadhu Shastra Guru. One is to test all spiritual matters according to the instructions of saintly persons, scriptures, and the spiritual master. The spiritual master is one who follows the instructions of his predecessors, namely the sadhus or saintly persons. A bona fide spiritual master does not mention anything not mentioned in the authorized scriptures. Ordinary people have to follow the instructions of sadhu, shastra, and guru. Those statements made in the shastras and those made by the bona fide sadhu or guru cannot differ from one another. So nobody can be accepted as God unless all it is accepted by Shastra. First of all, Shastra. Then the Guru and Sadhu they speak according to Shastra. So what is mentioned in Shastra? Reciters like the Suta and the Magad were confidentially aware that King Prithu was an incarnation of the personality of Godhead. So they knew he's the. Although the king denied such praise because he was not at that time exhibiting his godly qualities, the reciters did not stop praising him. Rather, they were very pleased with the king, who, although actually an incarnation of God, was so humble and delightful in his dealings with devotees. In this connection, we may note that previously it was mentioned that King Prithu was smiling and was in a pleasant mood while speaking to the reciters. Thus, we have to learn from the Lord or His incarnation how to become gentle and humble. So that's the measure of our spiritual advancement, how tolerant and humble we have become. The king's behavior was very pleasing to the reciters, and consequently, the reciters continued their praise. And even foretold the king's future activities as they had been instructed by the sadhus and sages. Okay, so they did not stop praising King Prithu. They internally knew that King Prithu is an Shaktavesh avatar. Okay, so they were praising him. Okay, next verse. Any comments then?
Uh,
Yeah.
the Shaktavesh avatar, is that a jiva who gets that position?
Yes. Like Buddha is a Shaktavesh avatar. They are empowered by the Lord. So because of their, because they are like they've become an instrument. They've surrendered to the Lord and they've become an instrument in the hands of the Lord. So they, they will do whatever the Lord says. So they have become empowered like that. They've surrendered to the Lord.
Right. So them just getting this position also is praiseworthy because they have surrendered to the Lord and have been chosen to be empowered by them.
They will get.
Does does demigods also empowered by such
They
right
have
by the
surrendered.
Lord? So they are also Shaktivish avatar.
The Shaktavesh avatars are usually we say about pure devotees. But demigods are, of course, they're empowered by the Lord, but we don't classify them as Shaktavesh avatar. We say, yeah, some jiva who has surrendered to the Lord, like Prabhupada is a Shaktavesh avatar. But demigods are not pure devotees. Of course, everybody gets their power only from the Lord only. So Prahlad Maharaj said, right, I'm getting power from the same place where you are getting. So atheists also, everybody gets power from the Lord only. But Shaktavish avatar is usually referred to the jivas who are pure devotees and who are preaching the message of God. Like Buddha is a Shaktavish avatar now, he's not he's not preaching devotion to the Supreme Lord, but he came for a specific purpose. So that way, if we say then everybody has some power, empowerment, right? Then we are all Shaktavish avatar. We cannot say we are all Shaktavish avatar. Then everybody has something they can do, which is coming from the Lord only. So we are empowered. Everybody is empowered to some degree by the Lord only, because Krishna says, "I am the ability in man." So everything is coming from the Lord only. But yeah, we say about generally. Okay.
Even Vyasdev, right?
Yeah, he's a Shaktavish avatar. Yes.
Kapil Dev, Rishabh Dev, Nar Narayan, and Prabhupada also write Jesus Christ and Muhammad.
Correct. And Kalki avatar is also a Shaktivish avatar. Although it's the 10 incarnate. Parshuram is a Shaktivish avatar. Buddha is a Shaktivish avatar. They are not Vishnu Tattvas, they are Jiva Tattvas. Yeah, we have
Also Narad Muni, I think.
Narad Muni, yeah, correct. Okay. There are how many different kinds of avatars? Who wants to list all the different avatars that are defined in the Bhagavatam? There is Purusha avatar.
Leela
Guna,
avatar.
Huh? Purusha.
Guna avatar, Leela avatar, Manvantar, Yuga avatars.
And Shakti Vishnu. I think there are 6 categories, right?
6. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's confusing, right? So, but there's a document about this. Like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are considered Guna avatars. And Shiva, Dakshay, Vishnu, Mahavishnu, they are considered Purusha avatars. Okay, yeah, 6 categories of avatars. Leela avatars. Now you would think Narad Muni is a Leela avatar, it's mentioned here. Leela avatar. He is a Shaktivesh. You can classify him as a Shaktivesh avatar. Shaktivesh also.
Is also mentioned here in the Shaktavish section. Both.
He is mentioned in Shaktivesh also. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Narada. So it may be overlapping also. Right? So, okay. The reciters continued. Dear King, you are a direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. And by his causeless mercy, you have descended to this earth. Therefore, it is not possible for us to actually glorify your exalted activities. Although you have appeared through the body of King Vena, even great orators and speakers like Lord Brahma and other demigods cannot exactly describe the glorious activities of your Lordship. In this verse, the word Maya means by your causeless mercy. The Mayavadi philosophers explain the word Maya as meaning illusion or falseness. It means illusion, yeah. The normal meaning of Maya is illusion. However, there is another meaning of Maya, that is causeless mercy. So, Mayapur is the city of causeless mercy. Lord Chaitanya. There are 2 kinds of Maya, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Mahamaya is an expansion of Yoga Maya. And both these Mayas are different expressions of the Lord's internal potencies. So Durga Devi is Mahamaya and Radharani is Yoga Maya. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord appears through his internal potencies, Atma Maya. We should therefore reject the Mayavad explanation that the Lord appears in a body given by the external potency, the marginal energy. Which verse says in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord appears through his internal potencies by his own spirit.
Ajopisan. Okay, Atma Bhutana Ishropisan. Prakritim Swam Adhisthaya Sambhavami Atmanaya.
We should therefore reject the Mayavad explanation that the Lord appears in a body given by external potency, the material energy. The Lord and his incarnation are fully independent and can appear anywhere and everywhere by virtue of internal potency. Krishna can appear anywhere, anytime he wants. So, by his own sweet will. Although born out of the so-called dead body of King Vena, King Prithu was still an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the Lord's internal potency. The Lord can appear in any family. Sometimes he appears as a fish incarnation, Matsya Avatar, or a boar incarnation. Thus, the Lord is completely free and independent to appear anywhere and everywhere by his internal potency. It is stated that Ananta, an incarnation of the Lord who has unlimited mouths, cannot reach the end of his glorification of the Lord, although Ananta has been describing the Lord since time immemorial. So, Lord's power and activities, everything is unlimited. It's increasing. So, what to speak of demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and others? So, Ananta has been speaking, but he can't come to the end. Just like we say, Radharani cooks, and cooks, but she never repeats any dishes. She always has a new recipe. So, we make the same preparation after some time. It is said that the Lord is Shiva Virinchi Nutam. Deyam Sada Paribhavagna Babhishta Doham. Tirthaspadam Shiva Virinchi Nutam Sharanyam. Vrityartiham Pranatapala Bhavabdipotam Vande Mahapurusham. Purushate Charanaravindam. It is said that the Lord is Shiva Virinchi Nutam, always worshipped by demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. If the demigods cannot find adequate language to express the glories of the Lord, then what to speak of others? So, the Lord's glories are so great that words cannot describe it. Consequently, reciters like Sutta and Magadha felt inadequate to speak about King Prithu. So, we cannot estimate the glory of Krishna, but we can surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada said in one purport like that. Don't try to find out the glories. Of course, the more we hear about the glories of the Lord, then the more our desire to take shelter is increased also. Not in Vrindavan though, but generally speaking, Krishna says, those who are convinced of this opulence of mind and power of mind, then they will surrender to me. So Krishna will protect. Krishna is so powerful, he will protect me, he will take care of me. That has to be there, that faith. Without that faith, nobody can surrender. So the deeper the faith, the advance the devotees. So deeper we have faith in Krishna's words, then the more is our advancement. So by glorifying the Lord with exalted verses, one becomes purified. Although we are unable to offer prayers to the Lord in an adequate fashion, our duty is to make the attempt in order to purify ourselves. So by glorifying the Lord, we become pure. So the desire to glorify somebody is there, so why not glorify Krishna and his pure devotees? Krishna is also very pleased when his devotees are glorified. So, although we are unable to offer prayers to the Lord in an adequate fashion, our duty is to make the attempt in order to purify ourselves. And Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. He is not concerned with the poetry of the language in which you are glorifying him, or the grammar or anything like that. He looks at our heart. It is not that we should stop our glorification because demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva cannot adequately glorify the Lord. Rather, as stated by Prahlad Maharaj, everyone should glorify the Lord according to his own ability. If we are serious and sincere devotees, the Lord will give us the intelligence to offer prayers properly. So there are different kinds of prayers, right? Prayers for taking shelter, prayers for for protection. So many different types of prayers. Prayers for others' welfare. We can pray for others, like Prabhupada did pray for others. So prayers for others, prayers to remove anarthas in our heart. So many different, and prayers glorifying the Lord's pastimes and activities. We heard about glorification, repentance, asking for some spiritual benefit, and you glorify the Lord. You ask for some spiritual
Great.
repentance and
I'm
gratitude.
grateful.
Gratitude, yeah.
Mm.
Prayers of gratitude. And you can pray for others. So many other different things.
Yeah, we wrote this document, I pasted the link with different prayers, different types of prayers. On the left side, you can see, yeah.
You want to go through some prayers?
You can read them.
Yeah, okay. Prayers to become free from material desire. Prahlad Maharaj. Right? So Krishna, please engage me in your service. So many prayers. Bhagavatam is full of prayers. We have to read some prayers. That reminds me. But they are all categorized in this kind of thing. Prayers for spontaneous devotion, attraction to the Lord, Kunti Maharani saying. Let me read some verses, it's nice. Prayers to become free from material desires. Yeah, this prayer to Narsingadev. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. And when we pray, we should mean it from the heart. It's not like some recitation. Like Shikshashtakam prayers, we should enter into the mood, at least for that time when we are saying the prayer. So we really should, the more we mean from the heart, then the more there is the effect of the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya, Namaste Tejase Avir Bhava Vajra Nakha Vajra Danstra Karma Shen Randaya Randaya Tamograsa Grasa Om Swaha Bhayam Abhayam Atmani Puishta Om Shah. Even if you don't know the Sanskrit, it doesn't matter. You can say the English translation and or in your own words. Krishna is not concerned with the Sanskrit or anything like that. He's just looking at our heart's desire. So it's not like you have to be a Sanskrit scholar to recite all the prayers. But yadi dasyasi me kaman varamstvam varadarshapa kamanam hridi asamroham bhavatastu vrinevaram. O my Lord, best of the givers of benediction, if you at all want to bestow a desirable benediction upon me, then I pray from your Lordship that within the core of my heart there be no material desires. Okay, so this is Prithu Maharaj only. He's praying that, yeah, whatever you think is best for me, give it to me. Just like a father. Everybody is desirous of material happiness in this material world. Due to the illusory effect of your illusory energy, they have forgotten their real situation. So don't ask me to take some material benefits from you. So don't give me any material things like that. Again, like material desires, that's free from Sthana Abhilashi. This is by Dhruva Maharaj. I don't want anything. So it is unconditional service to the Lord. This is Shrimad. Persons who worship you simply for sense gratification of this bag of skin are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. So if we worship the Lord for some material happiness, then we are influenced by illusory energy. In spite of having you, who are like a desire tree and are the cause of liberation from birth and death, foolish persons such as me desire benedictions from you for sense gratification, which is available even for those who live in hellish conditions. Okay, so prayers for spontaneous devotion. Okay, so many prayers. Very nice. It's nice you put all this together. This is a nice verse since Gaur Purnima is coming. Kalan nashtam bhakti yokam nichamya pradushkartum Krishna chaitanya nama avirbhutastasya padara vinde gadam gadam liyatam chitta bringa. Let my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet. So honeybee is always attracted to the lotus. Take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or it's not like a honeybee right now, but it should be like a honeybee in the pure state, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. All songs like this is Mama Man Mandire, that also. Prayer for remembrance. Let me not forget you. Spontaneous devotion, prayer for chanting the holy name, prayer for protection, removal of obstacles. We all know our obstacles. We can pray to Krishna. Prayers of gratitude. Prayers for forgiveness. All the sinful activities or like that. Prayers for acceptance by the Lord. You can add that Gopi Jan Vallabh prayer. Nice.
Yeah, it must be there in some other category.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. I like that prayer also. All prayers are good only.
Yeah, it's there.
Surrender.
Under prayers for surrender and dependence.
Correct. Yeah, it's kind of overlapping also. So, prayers for increasing our faith, prayers to super soul, prayers for praying for miseries so that we can always remember Krishna. That's very difficult. That I want to give that prayer. But if you're courageous enough, then you can pray like that. Prayers for the welfare, deliverance of other living beings. Prayers for spiritual strength. Glorification of the Lord. That is also prayer. Prayers to spiritual master, acharyas, tongue, mind, prayers for attaining certain devotee association and service. Wow, nice document.
I should read this.
Yeah. Yeah, we can read all the moods are captured here, right? I mean all the different ways we can connect with the Lord. Whatever. Sometimes we are feeling very grateful, Krishna, you have given me so much. Sometimes we are feeling Krishna, please forgive me for the mistakes. Sometimes we are feeling Krishna, I'm very vulnerable. Please protect me. So, okay. We can read some of this every day. Okay. What is the time? It's 7:45. Okay, we'll stop here. Anybody like to say anything? Share.
I can sing one song. Okay, bro. यदि गौर न होई तो तबे की होई तो के मने धरिता दे राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगति जनाता के यदि गौर न होई तो तबे की होई तो के मने धरिता दे माधुर वृंदा विपिन माधुरी प्रवेश चातुरी सार परजा युवती भावेरा भक्ति शक्ति होए ताकार गाओ गाओ पुना गरङ्गेर गुना सरल होए या मन ए भव सागरे मन दयाल नदेखिएका झन् गरङ्गा बलिया नगेनु गलिया के मने धरिनु दे देव सुहिया पाषाण दिया के मने गडिया छे यदि गौर न होई तो तबे की होई तो के मने धरिता दे राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जनाता के. Translation. If Lord Gaura had not appeared as the Yuga Avatar in this age of Kali, then what would have become of us? How could we have tolerated living? Who in this universe would have ever learned about the topmost limits of loving mellows that comprise the glory of Sri Radha? Who would have had the power to render ecstatic devotional service that follows in the footsteps of the damsels of Vraj? Indeed, the clever expertise of the Vraj Gopis is a prerequisite for entering the supremely sweet forest of Vrindadevi. Oh, please sing again and again of the glorious qualities of Lord Gauranga. Just try to keep your heart simple. Not even one person within this ocean of nations has ever seen such a magnanimous personality as he. Even though I chant the holy name of Lord Gauranga, somehow I still have not melted in ecstasy. How then have I maintained the burden of this body? How has the Creator fashioned this body with a stone in place of Vasudev Ghosh's heart? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us that previously no one has given us, right? The Madhurya Prema. Yeah, so that's this verse, Narpita Charim Chirat Karuna Avarti Runa Kalau. So he came to bestow what no other incarnation has ever bestowed before. The sublime and radiant mellow of devotion service, the mellow of conjugal love. So he's very magnanimous. And then the power of rendering ecstatic devotional service by following in the footsteps of damsels of Vraj. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshtanyo Tad Dham Vrindavan Ramya Kachit Upasna Vrajavadu Vargena Kalpate. So these Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has established that the devotion performed by the gopis is the highest, right? And until we are in, so it says that we are in following in the footsteps of the Vraj gopis, we cannot enter the forest of Vrinda Devi. So we pray to Tulsi Maharani that we may follow in their footsteps, right? The morning Tulsi Aarti. And then we should sing of the qualities of Lord Gauranga, and we should be simple-hearted. What is that? That saral, saralta hi Vaishnavta, right? Simple-hearted means no duplicity, right? What we are is what we show. And it's like what we are, what we show, what we speak. Same. It should be all same. And then, so Vasudev Ghosh is saying that when I chant the name of Lord Gauranga, I'm not feeling any ecstasy, my heart is not melting. And Bhagavatam says that our heart has become steel framed because of committing offenses and having so many material desires, right? Maintaining material desires is also an offense. So we want to melt, and we want to have our heart melted. We can pray that we become simple-hearted.
The prayers for removing material desires, it's one of the prayer, right? If you have, then say, Krishna, please take away. What is that Hari, the word? Definition of Hari.
Hari sambandhe nana artha dui mukhya atma sarva mangal hare prem diye hare man. So he steals our heart and gives us prema, and he steals away um, all material desires and all anarthas. Serve amangal hare, all inauspicious things in our heart.
We are thinking that this material desires will give me a lot of enjoyment. But actually, material desires give you material body. And this material body means all problems, all kinds of problems, this heart failure, this failure, kidney failure, so many things. So you have to go through all this because we have got material body. Why we got material body? Because of material desires. Material desires are those desires uh, to enjoy separately from Krishna. So,
Yeah, Rishabh Dev says that we have been awarded this material body for sense gratification. I mean, because of our desires for sense gratification.
and why we want sense gratification? Because we want happiness. Ultimately, we want sense gratification because we want happiness. But everybody's search for happiness, right? Everybody's looking for happiness. Whatever we are doing is for happiness. So there's a different way, as Prabhupada says, this is a mistake to find happiness through sense gratification is a mistake. Then how will we find enjoyment through Krishna's service, devotional service? That's the right way to find happiness. And the wrong way to find happiness is through sense gratification.
Yeah. Although it's nectar in the beginning, but it becomes poison at the end.
Correct. यही संस्पर्श जाब होगा दुख यो न येवते. Okay. So you want enjoyment, then you will get suffering also. You can't have one without the other. And that enjoyment leaves us hankering for more and more and like that. So there is another kind of happiness, which is spiritual happiness, which we have to experience. That like if we become even the peace we can experience if we become detached from all material desires, and then we'll become peaceful. And then after the peace, when we engage in Krishna's service more and more, then we become happy. So actually, we are thinking that all these desires and is very good. I'm trying to, of course, mostly it's a struggle for survival. So it's a struggle just to survive in this world. But that's why Krishna says those who are those who are unsuccessful in yoga, the next life I give them birth in a rich aristocratic family, so they don't have to worry about the struggles. So they can just be like chant Hare Krishna and just be peaceful. Of course, it doesn't matter whether you are poor or rich or anything. Everybody can become Krishna conscious. And Prabhupada built a house in which the whole world can live. Sometimes some devotees may join because out of poverty, you know, Krishna. But they have come to Krishna. It doesn't matter how you come to Krishna, because of poverty or because of, like some troubles in material life, depression or something. So it is also good. Although in some temples they will not let you just leave because you are just trying to escape and not do your duties, and because they think then if you come and you become lazy in the temple, then it's very difficult. Sometimes people just use temple as a place because it is free lodging, boarding, and free eating, and you don't have to worry about anything. But then you are not performing your sadhana and devotional service. You're not rising in the morning, but just using it as a place for. So then that's not desirable. Like Prabhupada says, everybody should read all the books we have published. Otherwise, after some times, they will simply eat and sleep, right? Something like that. He says so. So if you don't read the books of Prabhupada, then what will happen is our motivation to do bhakti will not be strong, and then we will. There's a quote like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Every member of Krishna consciousness should read all the books that we have published. Otherwise, out of some time, they will only sleep.
I can paste it.
Prabhupada says like,
Yeah, I pasted in the chat.
oh, you pasted, okay. Yeah. All the devotees connected with Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that have been translated, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat sleep. Of course, he's talking about those who are living in the temple also. They will sleep and fall down. Thus, they'll miss the opportunity to attain eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure. So, that will keep us motivated to do devotional service, Prabhupada's books, to chant the holy name, and then good association. Okay. Anything else?
Yesterday in Nectar of Devotion also we were reading that I mean everybody's aim is to be happy, right? Every soul wants to be happy. Whatever in I think preface, Srila Prabhupada writes that this in the material world also we have like engaged in some sort of service and like driven by the affection of family, children, wife, and for them we work day and night. Like some have love for country or philanthropist work, but they want to relish kind of a mellow or relationship, but it says that it is all. But the mundane workers, they do very hard day and night in order to relish that happiness or that kind of rasa, it is which is called a sense gratification, but which is that does not long endure. And if that, I mean, it's a very short period of time, right? And also it always apt to change their position of enjoyment. Srila Prabhupada writes that there is a word for that. The position of changing back and forth is called as bhoga and tyaga, right? Though sometimes they do, they like in a week we work for Monday to Friday, and then we change to the like we want and Saturday, Sunday, weekend we want to enjoy. So we don't like to work in that period. So and then come back again to the same work and Monday to Friday. So it's like a bhoga and tag situation, the position of alternating sense enjoyment and renunciation. But they cannot stayed in that situation until unless which not go to the constitutional position, which is a Jivera Sarupa Krishnera Nityadas. Right. So until and once he not understand the position of one's the living entity, the jiva's position, we cannot be that you are saying that we cannot experience the transcendental happiness. And it is also and whatever we get the happiness in the material world, it is not endure for long. It is a chapalasuk, flickering happiness. Um, so that I just remind that in this, and ultimately everything will be over at the end of the life. So again, we do the same. We see like the whole advancement of the material happiness. It will gonna terminate along with the body, and when the body finish. So the transcendental happiness only we can relish if we connect ourselves with the Lord. That is the aim of the life, even in the material world or in the spiritual. But in the material world, whatever you do, it's very short period of time. Chapala sukh. But when we connect that, we get relish happiness for a longer period of time.
Yeah, like Prabhupada told Bhakti Charu Maharaj, right? You've been trying to enjoy. Means in a way, in a certain way. Now try to enjoy in a different way. Means try to give this life to Krishna and see what happens. Means he's not saying that don't enjoy, but you've tried this way of enjoying. Now it has not made you satisfied. Now try another way to enjoy. So sometimes, right, in our life, when one thing doesn't work one way, then we try it different way. and we say, okay, let me try this way if it works. So we all have experience that sense gratification does not give happiness. So then let me try to find some other way to find happiness. So let me do Krishna's service and try to find happiness in Krishna's service. So that's how. But generally, what happens, even though we have had bad experience, we again keep trying and trying. That's called puna punascharvitacharmanana. We are not completely convinced that we think maybe this time it will be better or this time it will be nicer. So that's how our material life is. Although
In the
many
material world,
times,
is
yeah,
saturation is there. In bhakti, there is no saturation.
although many times we have experience, but it's difficult to learn the lesson because the misery goes away after some time. And then again, we feel like, no, it's not so bad after all. Prabhupada talks about this, about what is that example given of
The prisoner.
correct, who is dunked in the water, then
Mhm.
he's let out. So we become like, yeah, no, it's not so bad, right? Till another misery comes. So like till again is dipped in the water. So that is how we feel like, no, it's not bad. So, but when somebody feels like, no, I got this misery, I don't want this, it will come again. And like Buddha, he said, this person is being carried on. One day you'll also become an old person like this, be walking with a stick like this. And then he just gave it up. And that's this conversation with Prabhupada. We read this before. What is the qualification for going to spiritual world? The first qualification is to always remember that this material world is place of misery. This is coming from Acharya. It is not like we think that, yeah, Prabhupada is not so intelligent or something. We may think like that, but Prabhupada is much more intelligent than us. He is the pure devotee of the Lord. Then you can go to the spiritual world. As long as you think, oh, this material world is very nice, you have to remain here. Yesterday, in your example, you gave the example of Queen Kunti, who prayed for calamities that would happen to her again and again, so that she would realize this material world is terrible and remember Krishna. Yes, this is intelligent. When concludes the material world is worthless, that is real knowledge. As long as one thinks, no, it is not always bad. Sometimes it is very good. That is ignorance. I often meet people who say that without the bad, the good won't be as good. Of course, this is one side, and the other side is to chant Hare Krishna. That is to be attracted to Krishna. So, so we cannot become fixed in the devotional service until we realize what difficult situation we are in, and then we can take shelter. Like they say, without urgency. So every time we should chant like, okay, this is my last chanting today, last mantra. How will I chant? Is the quality good of chanting? Is this mantra I chanted very nice? Did I remember Krishna? Did I hear the mantra? Did I pronounce the words properly? So we can evaluate like that, our quality of our chanting every now and then. And if it is not good, then we try to come back. Okay, no, now I should hear. My mind is going. I like this. Prabhupada says you should chant with your tongue and hear with your ears. Where is the question of mind? So mind is not in the picture. So we have to keep the mind at bay for some time. Otherwise, mind is constantly chattering. Okay, so we'll read about lots
But
of yeah.
as we say, mind it can be the best of friends. Mind is used for praying to Krishna or by remembering his pastimes, his qualities.
Ah, if mind is behaving good, then it's good. If mind is behaving bad, then we ignore it. So that's how, yeah. If we are remembering Krishna, then it's nice. It's very wonderful. If it's behaving bad, we ignore it. So yeah, those who are like advanced, they have no difficulty. Like their mind is spontaneously attached to Krishna. So they are, as soon as they are chanting Hare Krishna and so many Nam, Roop, Gun, Lila, everything is manifesting in their mind. So they are feeling so much pleasure. Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanute Tundavalilante. But also for sadhakas like me, your mind is going here and there. So we have to say, no, stop it, mind. Nothing is so important now. I don't have to think about that thing or this thing. You say, no, it's not like important. And chastise the mind also, right? We have to chastise the mind. Mind, because of you, I'm in this material body, which is going to give me trouble sooner or later. Because of you. Because the mind only takes us to material bodies. So because of you, I'm in this predicament. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that's why he said, you beat the mind with a shoe. You chastise the mind very badly. So it becomes like very sober. So that's how regularly we have to like, galify the mind. Of course, it's not like just the mind will say, but I'm not getting any taste in this chanting. You are telling me all these things, but I'm not getting. So you will get taste. Be patient. Be patient. Okay, so we'll read Chaitanya Bhagavat. Some, or we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. We were reading that pastime, right, of Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. I think
Yes.
I bookmarked it. Antyalila Madness. Everything is reminding Lord Chaitanya. Like yesterday, we were hearing the class, right? How that fire of separation in Lord Chaitanya's heart, he's seeing the ocean at Jagannath Puri and he's remembering Yamuna. He cannot distinguish whether this is ocean. He's a Pandit. Like he was saying, Nimai Pandit, he knows the difference between a river, a sea, ocean, like that pond, a lake. But here he is seeing the ocean and he's remembering Yamuna. Yamuna is a river, whereas the sea at Jagannath Puri or ocean at Jagannath Puri is big, vast. So, but he's not able to distinguish. He knows he's a great scholar, but in his fire of separation is such that he's seeing everything in relation to Vrindavan. So, we may think this is out of touch with the reality, but yeah, it's they are mad in love with Krishna, then this kind of symptoms one gets.
Yeah, like the Mahabharata, स्थावर जंगम देखे ना देखे तारा मूर्ति सर्वत्र है निज इष्ट देव स्फूर्ति. Everywhere they're seeing the Krishna.
Like people go crazy in sense gratification also. People become crazy after. So either you become crazy in sense gratification or you become crazy in love for Krishna. So there's two ways of craziness we say. You can become mad. Like Rishabdev also says, we are mad. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Yadindriya priti apranoti. Tat sadhu mani yatatmanam. Okay. Asanna viklesha hashate. So his Krishna's yellow garments look exactly like restless lightning in the sky, and the pearl necklace on his neck appears like a line of herons flying below a cloud. Both the peacock feather on his head and his Vaijanti garland resemble rainbows. Okay. And his what other things are also there, right? His lightnings, rainbow, and then the peacock feather resemble rainbows.
Yeah.
And
Of course,
his
Shubhajal is like the sun. His blue complexion is like that of clouds. His flute playing is like that of thundering of the clouds. And his yellow dhoti is like the lightning.
so it's very beautiful like that. His darkish complexion, like a monsoon cloud, wearing yellow garment and then peacock feather. So the monsoon cloud with the rainbow, with thundering, all these things. And there is sunshine also, like Kaustubha Mani is like the sunshine, right? What is it?
Right. It's like the sun. And it says over here the pearl necklace is like the birds, the herons flying below a cloud in a line.
Yeah, we have not personally seen Krishna face to face. Of course, DT is Krishna only. But when we will see Krishna face to face, then we will irresistibly be attracted to him. We will not want to take our eyes off him. He is so beautiful. Okay.
And they dress the deities like that. Radha Madhav, Mayapur,
Yeah.
and Radha Sham Sundar. You can see how beautifully they dress in. You don't want to take your eyes off the deities.
Yeah, very beautiful. Correct. Radha Radu are also nice. And of course, Radha Madhav.
Yes.
So, all deities, Prabhupada's temples, very beautiful. And we can remember the deities. And that's the form of Krishna. The luster of Krishna's body is as beautiful as the glow of a spotless full moon that has just risen, and the vibration of his flute sounds exactly like the sweet thundering of a newly formed cloud. Luster of Krishna's body is as beautiful as the glow of a spotless full moon. So he's shining. That has just risen. And the vibration of his flute sounds exactly like the sweet thundering which you were mentioning of a newly formed cloud. When the peacocks in Vrindavan hear that vibration, they all begin to dance. Because they think it's going to rain. Like that, something maybe. Of course, Krishna's sweet flute sound makes everybody stunned. The cloud of Krishna's pastimes is drenching the 14 worlds with a shower of nectar. And the sound of Krishna's flute is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, Kirtan is like very enchanting. Kirtan. So, cloud of Krishna's pastimes is drenching the 14 worlds with a shower of nectar. Unfortunately, when that cloud appeared, a whirlwind arose and blew it away from me. Being unable to see the cloud, the chatak bird of my eyes is almost dead from thirst. Chatak bird, I think we were discussing it, takes water only from the clouds. Even if it gives a thunderbolt, that's the Asli Shiva Mother.
And Chakora is only looking at the moon.
So we can read about this, how Mahaprabhu is feeling in separation. Radharani is feeling in separation from Krishna. Okay, and then maybe by the mercy of Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one will also develop some attachment like this to Krishna. In a faltering voice, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again said, "Alas, go on reciting Ram Rai." So Ramananda Rai was reciting some verses. Thus Ramananda Rai began to recite a verse. While listening to this verse, the Lord was sometimes very jubilant and sometimes overcome by lamentation. Afterwards, the Lord personally explained the verse. So, according to the mood of the Lord, they would also recite verses. So, dear Krishna, this is spoken by the gopis. This verse is spoken by the gopis when they arrived before Krishna for the Ras dance. So, they came to the forest. When Krishna said, "Go back, you've enjoyed the beauty of the forest, now you should go back. Your parents, family members must be searching for you, and there are wild animals. It's not good." Like so many reasons he gives. Then they are maybe saying this verse after that. Dear Krishna, by seeing your beautiful face decorated with tresses of hair, by seeing the beauty of your earrings falling on your cheeks, and by seeing the nectar of your lips, the beauty of your smiling glances, your two arms, which assure complete fearlessness, and your broad chest, whose beauty arises conjugal attraction, we have simply surrendered ourselves to becoming your maid servants. So they are attracted by Krishna's beautiful form, and we have surrendered to become your maid servant. This verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by gopis when they arrived before Krishna for the Ras dance. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, after conquering the moon and lotus flower, Krishna wished to capture the doe-like gopis. Thus he spread the noose of his beautiful face, and within that noose he placed the bait of his sweet smile to misguide the gopis. So gopis also say he's like a cheater, right? Who will attract in the gopi git and then abandon them. The gopis fell prey to that trap and became Krishna's maid servants. So Krishna is enchanting them, and the gopis, they became trapped by Krishna. And they became maid servants of Krishna, giving up their homes, families, husbands, and prestige. So Lord Chaitanya, yesterday we were hearing how Lord Chaitanya also, he is three things. He came to experience three things, and he also gave the world three things. And one of that, which Lord Krishna says, I cannot repay you your debt. So Lord Chaitanya has become like the servant. Right? Krishna has become the servant of the gopis. So, because he cannot repay, so he has to give himself. Like he was saying that Krishna cannot repay his debt to Mother Yashoda. So he said, I will have to go, I will just give myself, I will just go into your womb. Right? He was saying that there's nothing I can do to repay your love. So I have to give myself completely. Like that he was saying. So,
Did he say that like he has to go door to door and glorify Krishna and then bring others as
yeah.
maid servants to Radharani?
Yeah, because you have pardoned my, like he's saying that if I've taken 10 lakhs from you and I cannot repay you, but instead of repaying you that money, I will give myself to you. I will spread your glories that how good you are, that you have forgiven my debt, and I will also bring other people to engage in your service. So, will that be good enough to, so that you have pardoned my debt? Something like that. So three things. So gopis fell prey to that trap and became Krishna's maid servants, giving up their homes, families, husbands, and prestige. So Krishna also becomes like that. Okay, my dear friend, Krishna acts just like a hunter. The hunter does not care for piety or impiety. He simply creates many devices to conquer the cores of the hearts of doe-like gopis. And not only gopis, Krishna wants to capture everybody's heart. Every jiva he was trying to attract. us back to him. So he misses everybody in the spiritual world. Like we heard about how Gop Kumar, he was saying, I miss you. He was a Gopa in the spiritual world. But still Krishna is very, of course Gopi's love is the highest, but Krishna misses everybody, his friends and everybody, the calf and everybody. So every one of us, Krishna is missing. So in the spiritual world, because he has a unique flavor of relationship with every jiva. And he misses that. Nobody else can give him that. No other jiva can give that unique rasa that Krishna enjoys with the jiva, that unique loving rasa. So, so it's not like Krishna only cares for the gopis and nobody other jivas he doesn't care. He cares for everyone. And personally that's why he has expanded as Paramatma with every jiva in the heart. Every jiva is special to him. So the earrings dancing on Krishna's cheeks are shaped like sharks and they shine very brightly. These dancing earrings attract the minds of all women. So shark shape, he is running and the shark shape earrings are moving to and fro in Damodar Leela here. Over and above this, Krishna pierces the hearts of women with the arrows of his sweetly smiling glances. He's not afraid, at all afraid to kill women in this way. Okay, so we are all Prakriti. So we are also women in that sense. So he's trying to enchant our heart by sweetly smiling and his beauty. Like we say, Astra of Lord Chaitanya is his beauty. Jiva Goswami says, very beautiful. On Krishna's chest are the ornaments of Srivatsa mark, indicating the residence of the goddess of fortune. His chest, which is as broad as a plunderer's, attract thousands upon thousands of damsels of Raj, conquering their minds and breasts by force. Thus they all become maidservants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The two very beautiful arms of Krishna are just like long bolts. They also resemble the bodies of black snakes that enter the space between the two hill-like breasts of women and bite their hearts. Then women die from the burning poison. In other words, the gopis become very much agitated by lusty desire. They are burning due to the poisonous bite inflicted by the black snakes of Krishna's beautiful arms. The combined cooling effect of camphor roots of khaskhas and sandalwood is surpassed by the coolness of Krishna's palms and the soles of his feet, which are cooler and more pleasing than millions upon millions of moons. The combined effect of camphor roots of khaskhas and sandalwood is surpassed by the coolness of Krishna's palms and the soles of his feet, which are cooler and more pleasing than millions on millions. So Krishna, when his arms are like his palms, and they are very pleasing. If women are touched by them even once, their minds are enticed, and the burning poison of lusty desire for Krishna is immediately vanquished. It's very high stuff. Lamenting in ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then recited the following verse, which was spoken by Srimati Radharani, while exposing the lamentation of her heart to her friend Vishaka. My dear friend, Krishna's chest is as broad. So Radharani is speaking this verse. As broad and attractive as a door made of Indranila gems, and his two arms as strong as bolts, can relish the mental anguish of young girls distressed by lusty desires for him. His body is cooler than the moon, sandalwood, the lotus flower, and camphor. In this way, Madan Mohan, the attractor of Cupid, is increasing the desire of conquest. Okay. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, I just now had Krishna, but unfortunately I have lost him again. Because by nature Krishna is very restless. He does not stay in one place. He meets someone, enchants that person's mind, and then disappears. So Krishna says, why I disappeared is to increase your separation, your love in separation. That's what he tells the gopis, right? The gopis become proud of their great fortune to subdue their sense of superiority and show them special favor. Keshava, the subduer of your Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, disappeared from the Ras dance. Okay, so apparently, how can they become proud? But this is that pride. They are pure devotees, so how can they become pride? How can they become proud? But they maybe it's exhibited pride because they wanted to show special position of Srimati Radharani. That some acharyas say like that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said to Swarup Damodar Goswami, please sing a song that will bring consciousness to my heart. Thus, for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar Goswami began very sweetly singing the following verse from Gita Govinda. Here in the arena of Ras dance, I remember Krishna, who was always fond of joking and performing pastimes. When Swarup Damodar Goswami sang this special song, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately got up and began to dance in ecstatic love. At that time, all kinds of spiritual transformations became manifested in Lord Chaitanya's body. 33 symptoms of Vyabhichari Bhav, beginning with lamentation and jubilation, became prominent as well. All the ecstatic symptoms such as Bhavodya, Bhavasandhi, and Bhavashabalya awakened in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A great fight arose between one emotion and another, and each of them became prominent. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had Swarup Damodar sing the same verse again and again. Each time he sang it, Lord tasted it anew, and thus he danced again and again. After the Lord had been dancing for a long time, Swarup Damodar stopped singing the verse. Over and over again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, go on, sing, sing. But Swarup Damodar, seeing the Lord's fatigue, did not resume singing. When the devotees heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, go on singing, they all gathered around him and began to chant the holy name of Hari in unison. At that time, Ramananda Rai made the Lord sit down and dissipated his fatigue by fanning him. Then all the devotees took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the beach and bathed him. Finally, they brought him back home. After they fed him lunch, they made him lie down. Then all the devotees headed by Ramananda Rai returned to their respective homes. Thus I have described Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in the garden, which he entered, mistaking it for Vrindavan. There he exhibited transcendental madness and ecstatic ravings, which Sri Rupa Goswami has described very nicely in Stavamala as follows. So his ecstasy is described by Rupa Goswami in Stavamala. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the topmost of all devotees. Sometimes while walking on the beach, he would see a beautiful garden nearby and mistake it for the forest of Vrindavan. Thus he would be completely overwhelmed by the ecstatic love of Krishna and begin to chant the holy name and dance. His tongue worked incessantly as he chanted Krishna, Krishna, while he became again visible. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? So Chaitanya Ashtaka, this verse number 6 from Stavamala. This quotation is verse 6 from the first Chaitanya Ashtaka in Srila Rupa Goswami's Stavamala. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are unlimited. It is not possible to write of them properly. I can only give an indication of them as I try to introduce them. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring the mercy, I Krishna Das narrate Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita. Narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following their footsteps. Okay, so that's about 8:30. Anything else anybody like to say? Chapter came to an end. Which other pastime we can read? We can see later on. Since Gaur Purnima is coming up.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll read some pastimes that I have to speak about later.
Yes.
We have to decide. Okay, so we were reading some prayers. We read half or something. I don't know. Prayers. You can read one few prayers. Or we can chant. Let's see. Prayers by King Bali. That is in the 10th canto. Prayers of Devaki to Krishna and Balram. This is in the 10th canto. There are only few verses. This is 1085, 29 to 33. That's how it is mentioned. So, 1085. Only four verses. Lord Krishna instructs Vasudev and retrieves Devaki's sons. Shri Devaki said, O Ram, Ram, immeasurable supreme soul, O Krishna, Lord of all masters of yoga, I know that you are the ultimate rulers of all universal creators, the primeval personalities of Godhead. So Devaki is telling to Krishna, so her own son. So she knew that how Krishna had brought back the son of Sandipani Muni. So she was thinking about her own 6 sons who had died, who had been murdered by Kans. So, and she was telling Krishna and Balram for retrieving. So, taking birth from me, you have now descended to this world in order to kill those kings whose good qualities have been destroyed by the present age. So she is completely like forgotten her Vatsalya ras. She is now in the mood of accepting Krishna as God. You have now descended to this world in order to kill those kings whose good qualities have been destroyed by the present age, and who thus defy the authority of revealed scriptures and burden the earth. She is remembering why Krishna has come to this world to destroy all the kings. You know how Brahma and all the demigods went and prayed because Kansa's atrocities were too much. O soul of all that be, the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe are all carried out by a fraction of an expansion of your expansion. Today I have come to take shelter of you, the Supreme Lord. So that is the expansion is Mahavishnu and like that. They are the ones who maintain this universe. So she's saying, I have come to take shelter of you. And then this is the last verse. It is said that when your spiritual master ordered you to retrieve his long dead son, you brought him back from the forefathers' abode. As a token of remuneration for your Guru's mercy, please fulfill my desire in the same way. Just like you brought Sandipani Muni's son, I am also hankering to get my children back. O Supreme Master of all Yoga Masters, please bring back my sons who were killed by the king of Bhoja, so that I may see them once again. So after glorifying, she is putting forth her request, what she wants from the Lord. So we say, first we have to glorify and then we ask the Lord for our specific, whatever our need is. So she's saying, please bring back all my sons who were killed by Kans, so that I may see them again. Okay, so this is a little prayer by Devaki. Okay. There is similarly glorification of Krishna and Balram by Vasudev. This is also in this chapter, which we can read later. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Thank you very much. It's safe. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.